Well, good afternoon, everybody, ladies and ladies. Super pleasure to have you all here. My name is Valentin Cortés. I'm the general manager for Ironhack in Spain. I'm super proud to be the host of this event, which is something for us very important to bring more women into tech. And basically today, my obligations here are basically to welcome you and to let you know that you are at Ironhack, which is the most and the biggest out-of-the-box school to learn tech in a very fast way. And I want to introduce you to the women who's an example for all of us in the code sector, which is Veronica, who is going to lead the full event. So I really encourage you to give a big round of applause for her. Veronica.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to this special event, The Future of Women in Tech by Santander's technology team and MongoDB. Also, for all those people who are watching us online. I'm Veronica Moreno, developer with more than 6 years of experience in the tech industry, covering design, front-end, and back-end processes. I'm content creator for the tech community too. You can find me in almost every social media, but above all on Instagram, where I'm sharing tips about how to start to code, motivation, grow, so you can find me and follow me as Veritechie. Well, we have several special guests here today, great women leaders who will share their experiences and professional advice. For the next 2 hours, we will break stereotypes and gender barriers to reinforce the value of diversity for business innovation and help you get ready to lead the future. To start, I'm sure that you will join me in giving a warm welcome for Ana Lamillo, Head of Human Resources for the technology area at Santander, where she manages talent and promotes diversity, all with the aim of accompanying the great transformation that the Santander Group is undergoing. And Red Monson, Director of Worldwide Strategic Marketing at MongoDB. She has mentored a lot of rockstar talent and is specifically focused on helping women break personal biases as they enter leadership positions. Welcome, Anna and Red, from the companies who makes possible this event. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Enjoy. And a big applause, please.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Veronica. It's my pleasure to be here and together with Red. It's great to have all of you connected and all of you here close to us. And you know what? It seems that it is now when we start to talk about women in tech, right? But it's not because the careers of women in tech have started really now. It's probably because, of course, in the past, women did not have the same opportunities, that's for sure. But the other topic, and we are here to break that, is because women did not have the same visibility. Because to give you just an example, did you know that the first modern digital computer was programmed by women, 6 women, in 1946? So what are we talking about, right? so let's move from the past to the present, to my present. As Veronica said, I'm part of the Santander team, where we had big challenges. We are in the middle of a big transformation. We have the vision to be the best open platform of financial services. So can you imagine what does it mean in terms of tech, right? So if it means processes 100% digital, although of course we will be face-to-face attending to our customers as well. It means data and system hosted in cloud. It means end-to-end activity via APIs. So it means a lot in terms of tech. In terms of people, because behind tech, we have people, right? So we in the group are currently 200,000 employees worldwide. When we look to the tech teams, tech profiles, it will be something like 20,000. But now again, let me give you a very detailed data, and it's a data here in Spain. You know what? In the last 2 years, only in Spain, only for IT teams, we hired almost 2,000 people. So can you imagine that? It means that, of course, we are hiring, it's clear. And to know our opportunities, I'm sure that we will cover that later on, but I invite you to visit our www.bitechwithsantander.com. So
Write that down.
please, we will repeat that. So, but it means we are hiring. It means that for you, women in tech, you have a lot of opportunities, right? So probably we both have an opportunity. So for we, as companies, we have the opportunity to really cover the gap that we have in terms of gender. And for you, as women who want to develop their career, you have the opportunity to choose. So the important thing is how to choose, right? And you have a lot of experience in tech careers.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of tech, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here today, because that's what we came to talk about, right, as women in tech. And thank you, Anna, so much for having us. We're so excited to be not just a strategic technical partner of Santander's data infrastructure, of course, for anybody who knows MongoDB, but also a partner around really important conversations like this and initiatives around changing the bias of who we hire in those roles. And what do I mean by that? Like, I hear something in those numbers, right? I'm hearing that businesses are opening up opportunities, and not just in the legacy roles, right, but in new spaces, spaces that people are training for right now behind us. And there's women in this room, spaces around data infrastructure, around the cloud, around innovation in security and data security. There are new types of roles that are available, and thousands of them at big companies like Santander. But at the same time, these companies are obsessed with hiring different types of humans in those roles. And not just to change the ratio, right? We're all so tired of hearing the ratio. Like, who's tired of hearing the phrase parity? Because I'm tired of that. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be a number, on your report at the end of the year. They're doing it because they know that different perspectives are key to innovation. And that's what you're going to hear about today from the leaders that we're bringing up on this panel. Businesses cannot innovate without different voices in the room. And they know it's a problem, and it's a big problem when we're in a time of change, when we need to be really resilient. Like, we can be honest about that right now, right? We're entering a really tough time. So what does that mean for you? When you hear about a company that's hiring a lot of people with a lot of roles and a lot of new types of roles, and they want those people to be really different, it means that on the other side of the coin, the people that need to break biases are in this room. Because businesses are working really hard to break their own biases. The only thing that's stopping you from taking advantage of those types of roles and being those women in innovative roles, in leadership, is your own personal biases. And that's what I wanted to share a message on today. So I'm going to quickly bring up some data that you've all heard before. Really quick quiz. How many of you have been quoted the Hewlett-Packard study about the difference between how confident a woman needs to be to apply for a role and how confident a man needs to be to apply for a role? Anyone know this data? Can somebody tell me the data? Anybody know it off the top of their head? Did I hear that? That a man needs to be, he's remembering it, 60, there it is, 60%. But a woman feels like she needs to be how confident? 100% confident. This is what they found in 2014. They interviewed thousands of people. A woman feels like she needs to fit into every single criteria for the role, right? Fun fact, that study was redone in 2019 by Harvard Business Review by one of my favorite economists there, Tara Moore. You should also follow her on social media. If you're on Instagram, she's brilliant. In 2019, she thought, I wonder if any of that data has changed. It turns out it has. 3 years ago, she found, same study, bigger population size, that when people don't apply for a role, the confidence gap has actually narrowed quite a bit. It turns out we're getting more confident. I mean, look at all the people in this room right now. Do you feel confident about being a woman in technology? I would guess yes, because you came all the way out here today, right? Or you're on YouTube. What's under that, though, is a widening gap in how we look at the rules. It turns out, according to HBR, that men are 2 times more likely to question the criteria on the resume, call up the recruiter and say, do I really have to know Python? Or is this just a JavaScript role, right? How often do you do that? I've never done it. I've never done that in my entire career. I've never called a recruiter and said, like, do you really need 15 years of experience? I see 15 years and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to waste their time. Well, I used to say that I'm older. I'm older now, but let's not play the age game. But that says something really important to me, that the next step in changing those numbers, but also building out innovation, is up to us. It's up to you looking at the playbook and playing it like, unfortunately, men have been conditioned to play it. Question the rules. Question the roles, right? Like, think about yourself as the talent that they want to hire for, and the role is not what they want to hire for. They want the right minds on site, not necessarily the right rules. So with that, I want to hand it back to you, Anna. Is there one more message before we get started?
Yeah, well, I will take part of your messages here. So, I'm fully convinced of the importance of breaking our own bias, that's for sure. And we also need to work on that on the companies. So, for us, it's very relevant to address our diversity lens in everything that we do, right? So whenever we have to take the decisions in terms of hirings, we ensure that we have women within the shortlist of candidates. Whenever we have to promote or to choose people for development programs, we look in terms of gender, because we need to ensure that. But let me come back a bit when you said, well, we are tired, exhausted to be numbers. Numbers matters.
Yeah.
And, in our sector, in our industry, numbers seems to be something like 26% of women. Come on. We are proud in Santander saying that we are 31%, and we are especially proud when saying that this is not when considering the thousands of employees, but also when looking specifically to the executive managers, right? But having said that, and we're proud of being a bit above the average.
Yeah.
This is not enough. We are ambitious, so we need you to really change that. So we need to move forward. And you know what you said? Diversity is important because of it really boosts innovation, and it's true. Diversity is important for many different aspects. For us in Santander, it's important in order to really fulfill our mission, and our mission is to support people to really achieve their goals, right? So imagine if we have millions of customers. Can you imagine how diverse they are? So if we would really want to serve them, we need also diverse people, right? Creating the solutions for them. Talking about creating the solutions, I was talking about this purpose of supporting and helping people to get their dreams. We are also supporting companies. And here, I need to tell this, we this year are celebrating something very relevant in terms of tech, which is Gravity. You know what? For us to move from the mainframe to the cloud, we developed internally a software called Gravity. And it seems to be so important, so well done for our teams, that Google put some attention there, and now you know what, Santander and Google are working together in order to provide this opportunity to help also the companies to evolve. Incredible. So imagine the incredible opportunities that we have, not only inside the companies, but also serving to others, right? And I want to talk about this, because I think that when women choose, of course, we tend to see whether we comply with the requirements or not, but we also look for something else, and purpose is one of the things. So yeah, look for a purpose, look where you can have some impact, right? Other things that are very relevant, and especially today, of course, is, okay, who I'm working with, and you will see today women doing great things in very different companies. So the who is important, the where is important as well. The how, in terms of flexibility of hybrid work, in terms of remote and presential, is also important. And in order to progress, once you start in a new company, it's also important to have the opportunities to develop yourself, because in tech, the obsolescence is a kind of, come on, take care. Yeah. So we are taking care of that, and we promote a culture of continuous learning. And also, we promote a culture of continuous listening, which means try to listen what really matters to our employees. This year, we did it 3 times in order to see what we are doing well and what do we need to improve. So again, these are just only examples of the things that I think that you need to really evaluate when considering your opportunities, because you have thousands of opportunities, right? So I will encourage you to really dream big and really try to look for big challenges and to be part of converting the challenges into successful realities. That will be my message.
I love what you said about purpose, that you can't just look at the job when you're considering your next step. It's about the bigger picture. Look at what Santander has done in creating more purpose for women and creating more learning. 5 percentage point change. That's a big change. It's a big material increase when you're going from 26% women to 31%. Like, my hat is off to you. I know MongoDB is pushing along similar lines and also making an investment in women, but they're actually doing it from the inside right now. They found in one of those surveys that their women at the director level, which is where I happen to sit, are the least engaged in the whole company. So rather than saying to themselves, oh, well, you know, how much can we throw at this and what other talent maybe can we find from elsewhere that might be more engaged, they're investing in those specific women. They're saying we don't want to lose that talent, so we're going to get you executive mentoring and circles of other women to ensure that you are not questioning your own talent when those leadership roles are available. I'm in that program at Mongo, and it makes me very uncomfortable every couple months when I join those sessions, like a lot of pushing and a lot of thinking around what's really next for me? How long do I really have to wait? And why not make that happen at Mongo? Why not talk to my boss about what I want to do? And it sounds like Santander is doing the exact same thing. So what we want to leave you with is that we hope you learned something today about breaking biases in tech, whether or not that's seeking out a company that's doing it, like Santander, seeking out a role for yourself in your own organization that makes you feel a little different, a little more challenged, and like you're on your way toward what you want, that you glean some insights from the incredible stories you're going to hear from these leaders today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna and Red. What a nice welcome and a powerful message. I got emotional, didn't you? Now, it's time to learn from shared experiences. Our speakers are going to talk about their career experiences and the challenges they had to overcome to reach their goals. I want to present to you all our first speaker. She has more than 20 years of experience in IT, mainly in financial sector. She has been working in a lot of different technology areas: infra, operations, dev, architecture, team builder, results-oriented and challenger. She joined Santander 3 years and a half ago, and since last March, she works as CTO and CIO for Spain and Europe. Please give a warm welcome to María José Eugena.
Oops, I feel a little bit alone here, yeah? So to be completely honest, all my messages were already sent by the 2 girls that were here before. So now I'm not sure about what I can share with you, yeah? So thank you for allowing me to be here today. As Veronica has just mentioned, I'm María Eugena. I'm currently the CTIO at Santander Spain. And behind the CTIO role, it has to be really important because I have 4 letters in my title, yeah? I'm really, really important. You know, most of the C names have only 3, I have 4, yeah? So really what my team is doing there, I have like two different roles there, and my team is doing 2 different things. In one hand, we are defining the IT strategy for the bank, and in the other hand, we need to keep ensuring that the bank is up and running every single day. From my CTO role, this thing that defining IT strategy is really we are really the ones deciding the technology that we can choose. It means that if we can use MongoDB, for example, or whatever, but also how we are going to use this technology. And in terms of this CTO hat, it's about architecture. And if you think about architecture, you can think about maps, PowerPoints, that I can personally tell you that I hate it. Yeah. So it's all about this. But really, our architects, what they do is just they are touching technology. So we cannot define a technology if we don't see exactly what it means. So putting in a PowerPoint a MongoDB logo is not only our job. So we need to really test it, and we really need to understand the impact on our things. From my CIO role, Santander Spain is running a great journey in terms of customer value. So my CIO team is not, they are not really worried only on the technical stuff in terms of if a database runs properly, if the cloud is performing quite okay. It's also about customer, yeah? So everything we do is related to customer perspective. So, as also Veronica mentioned, I joined Santander 4 years ago after 20 years of IT experience doing almost everything. And when I say almost everything, is even I was doing the cabling in one data center when I started, yeah? So I really like the IT stuff. But please don't do the math. 4 plus 20, it means exactly I'm 32. So it's more about what we do there, yeah? After all these things, what I did in my whole career and what I really like to do now is mainly 2 things, learning and enjoying, yeah? Because without this really great combination, for me, the purpose doesn't make any sense. So in terms of learning, I think that is a continuous learning approach, yeah, as you mentioned. So it's like learning, but it's in a different way as you can imagine the learning. For me, I'm learning every single day from my team. I have the best team that is everywhere, so my team is the best one. So, and I'm learning every single day from them. And I think it's really relevant from the gender diversity, yeah, because women, we are used to learn from your team and also from your peers. I learn a lot from my peers. And when I say my peers, it's not only about the technical peers, it's also about the business peers. So I'm learning from my business guys because, again, in terms of purpose, IT for IT doesn't make any sense. You need to really understand why we are doing things. And I'm learning from something that, for me, it was so difficult to learn from that perspective. I'm learning from outside, yeah? When you work at banking, everything is about confidential. We have the auditors, we have the compliance, so everyone is there telling you you cannot share anything. So, and my whole career has been in the banking sector, so you cannot share anything, then you cannot learn anything from outside. So now I'm learning from outside a lot, and you need to create your own networking in order to learn from others quite often. And I'm learning also from my own perspective. Of course, I read myself, I code myself when I have free time, even with my kids. So, and also one thing that is really important is learning for failure. Yeah? It maybe is not the coolest part of the learning process, but learning without failing is not so easy. Yeah? Of course, please fail fast, just to avoid any issues in your company, but failing is also a great learning. Yeah. But this is more about the how, and then what about about the what? What about the how? What about this thing that I mentioned? Remember, I'm learning and enjoying. So I enjoy every single day based on people, yeah? And the enjoying part for me is maybe is a little bit different from others. For me, it's working together with something and understanding really why we are doing things. Let me give you an example. And we are running now a really interesting project, a great transformation program. And now we are running 4 ladies. One lady from the business, lady, one from operations, Monica, another one from IT that I think maybe she's here today with us, that is Elena and myself. And we are starting building, we don't know exactly what we want to do, to be completely honest. So we are running, the 4 of us, we are running together exactly what we need to do. And we are discussing every single thing. And the funny thing for me is that we are doing together and we are doing with a purpose. That, to be completely honest, the purpose is not so clear enough, but we know that we will find it, yeah? Because with this multidisciplinary team, we will do it, yeah? So this is more about learning and enjoying, and then the challenge is about the continuous learning about the process of learning and the process of enjoying. I've been moving from different companies or even from different departments within the same company, and every single time that I move, I need to adapt myself to this learning and enjoying process. I can tell you that I'm usually the strange person in the room, and it's not about the gender. Yeah, it's just about because I really like to find for the purpose, and sometimes it's not so easy. Yeah, I mentioned challenges. What are the challenges that we have today at Santander Spain where we need some help in terms of recruiting, as you were mentioning before? So we are running a really transformation program, again, based on a business demand. It's not about doing IT for IT. Everything that we do in terms of IT is because we need to fulfill a customer need. So it's not about, I do my Python stuff at home, and I can tell you that I do really stupid things, of course. But when we are in the office, what we are doing there is basically everything related to our customers. There, again, you mentioned everything. I cannot say anything else, no? But you mentioned, so we are opening our platform to everyone. So the API and how we are using the APIs stuff in a company like Santander Spain is amazing, yeah? Because imagine that it's a big bank with a lot of years of history, so doing this API strategy is a really cool stuff. In terms of definition, so because we don't want to reinvent the wheel all the time, so let's see, this is the accounts functionality. Let's see how we are going to define this API, and we are going to define once, no more. So the API stuff is a big challenge for us. The journey to cloud, yeah? So again, we are a bank, so we have, apart from having the internal guys that are looking at us, we have the regulator just telling us, wow, what are you going to do with your customer data? So then moving to the cloud, a financial organization is even more challenging and really more funny, yeah? We are having, the conversations that we are having with the JST are really, really funny. APIs, cloud, moving to DevOps. So having an organization that we have been doing software for a long time, yeah, and doing software 8 years ago is a little bit different than the way how we are doing software today. So this is DevOps, continuous delivery, continuous integration is also a huge challenge for us. So I can tell you that in terms of recruitment, there is no other more interesting project than the one we have at Santander Spain. Yeah, sorry, but that's the case. So, and also, something that I was mentioning with the guys from MongoDB before is the size. So I'm used to working maybe in a smaller organization, and when the way how we need to escalate at Santander Spain is completely different than any other thing that I've done in my whole career. Yeah, so. And maybe my last advice in terms of challenges, continuous improvement, and so on is about be yourself. As I told you before, this is something that, at least in my case, it worked quite okay. And it's not so easy, because as I mentioned before, sometimes I'm the strange person in the room, in the meeting, in the wherever. But I really enjoy it. So maybe they don't understand anything about what I say. It's happening quite often. I don't care, yeah, because my purpose is clear. My purpose is I want to enjoy, I want to learn, and I want to ensure that I'm going to have some impact to my customers. And every single night when I arrive at home, what I say is, okay, I did what I expected to do, yeah? So, and this is really, really quite, I am so happy to do so, yeah? So, and that's all. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I was not expecting this kind of environment, so thank you so much, and have fun.
Thank you, Maria Jose, for sharing with us your experiences. Please don't worry if you have any question, as we will answer them at the end of the event. The Future of Women in Tech Roundtable begins. Our experts will share their vision about the roles of the future and give tips to prepare us to be leaders. In this roundtable, join us 4 incredible top leaders in the tech industry. Cristina San Jose, Global Head of Models and Data at Santander, Lina Smart, Chief Information Security Officer at MongoDB, Pastora Valero, Public Policy and Government Affairs at Cisco, and Doris Gomez, Head of Cloud Adoption and Innovation at Microsoft. Please, a big applause. Let's get started. I would like to ask you some questions to help people to know you better. So I would like to introduce Lina.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
She joined MongoDB in March 2019 with more than 20 years of cybersecurity experience in different companies. Lina is a founding member of cybersecurity at MIT Sloan, formerly the Interdisciplinary Consortium for Improving Critical Infrastructure Cybersecurity. Wow, yeah, it's
Sorry, it's too many words.
don't worry. Lina is also a member of IT ISAC, frequently speaks at industry events, and has been featured in Fortune, Dark Reading, and CSO Online. Okay, why is the role of women in business essential, Lina?
So I'm very happy to be here. There's a lot of people here, isn't there? Apologies first for my accent. I am Scottish. I will talk slowly, and I will enunciate. I'm very embarrassed that the only other language I can speak is Gaelic, which no one else in the world can speak. It's amazing that you all are at least bilingual. I think having women in tech is important, for the obvious reason we're all in the room, but also I think it brings a different aspect, a different perspective to how we deal with things. I love how the lady before me said that her job was more important because she's got 4 letters in her job description, so I'm going to use that. I think it's important to recognize that women, I think, just bring, in my case anyway, sometimes more patience and more understanding as to what the problems are in the room. Apologies to the men out there, but I don't think you'd get many very senior men sitting saying they do stupid things, which I do every day, or they're guilty of not being perfect. And I think sometimes bringing that sense of just humanness and humankind is really, really useful.
Thank you. And one interesting question, how do you get a seat on the table? I mean, as a female leadership.
So that, yeah, I get asked that quite a lot. And what I tend to do is say, if someone's not going to give you a seat at the table, build your own damn table. You don't need to bring a chair to tables that nobody wants you to sit at. Build your own table, and I'll help you.
Being yourself.
Yes.
Thank you, Lina. Now we are going to talk to Christina, the Global Head of the Models and Data Unit and Chief Data Officer of Santander Group. She has been a member of the high-level expert group on artificial intelligence of the European Commission since 2018. Before joining Santander in 2015, Christina was the leading partner of the Global Machine Learning Hub at McKinsey & Company. She holds an MBA by New York University and ABA in Mathematics by Universidad de Zaragoza. Wow, really impressive. Why do you consider important for a successful career in technology?
Oh, men or women? I would say 3 things, but the most important one is the first one, which is make yourself understandable. Just make yourself understandable, because I'm not a person of mainframes or APIs or whatever. I don't even know what that is. I'm a data scientist in a way, and I lead a bunch of data scientists to which I love to discuss with and enter into the depths of the algorithms. But you will kill me first if I need to go to a committee and start talking algorithms, because no one is interested in that. That is my personal passion. Also, knitting is a passion of mine. I don't bring it to the bank, you see. You need to be understandable, because the people at that table that Lena was talking about, they speak business, they speak customer. They're not interested in your, I took an XGB, but they're not interested. And actually, if you start talking gibberish they cannot understand, you're only making yourself suspicious. So just first make sure they understand you, and make sure you speak their own language. Because if you're trying to join a rock band and they're holding an audition, you do not show up there with your harp. I mean, you're not going to get it. So learn to talk their jargon. By the way, their jargon is easier than ours. So it doesn't take so much to start talk business, right? So this is the first tip. Talk like them and talk about the things that really matter. Because the things that really matter in any business is the customer. How do we serve the customer? What is useful for the customer? What is going to cause the customer a problem and how to avoid that? Because if you do these things right, the business will flow. So think about how your mainframe or your XGB or whatever you're at is helpful for your customer. That would be the first tip. The second one I would say is lean on. I mean, we all tend to do things, particularly in tech, very much ourselves. Like, I'm a super expert on this and that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to shine. Lean on. There are fantastic teams. Get yourself the best team you can get, like the best. Don't be afraid they're going to outshine you. I mean, as time goes by, younger generations will always outshine you. But get yourself surrounded by the best people you can and lean on. Lean on them, on your teams, on other people's teams, on your colleagues. Lean on everyone you can. Because it's the best way. You will get all the information, all the perspectives, and as an aggregator of all that, this is how you shine. So that would be my second tip. And if I have to say a third one, also related to tech, this is more of a pitfall rather than a tip or what to avoid. We love to launch large projects, super expensive, that last many years, and nothing happens at the beginning, but at the end, there's always the promise of magic. This never happens. I mean, there's nothing magical in technology. So be pragmatic. Launch small things you can handle. Do not overpromise. And most importantly, do not talk magic. Be pragmatical. The last years, we've seen plenty of gurus promising amazing things. This is bullshit at this point, and I apologize for my French. Be very, very, very pragmatic and only start things that you understand and business understands. Anything else is going to go away.
Thank you. How do you see the future of technology for women?
I hope that we will be present in larger numbers than today, definitely. As a bride, also, and maybe this is politically incorrect, but while, I mean, we are more pragmatic, and I see the future of technology as away from magic and into pragmatism and being practical, like making things happen and things work. And I do think, and maybe it's very wrong, but I do think personally, women are better at being pragmatic. Maybe we don't sell as nicely, but being pragmatic and making things work, you should see me at home with my knitting.
Thank you, Cristina.
You're welcome.
I would like to introduce now Pastora. She's Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Public Policy of Cisco's Europe, Middle East, and Africa. She oversees government affairs activities and is responsible for advancing Cisco technology and communications policy agenda with European institutions and governments. From Andalusia, but living in Brussels. She is passionate about mentorship, talent development, and women's leadership, and is the executive sponsor of Cisco's Connected Women community. Well, what do you think business can do to help women get into the tech industry?
Thank you, Veronica. Let me just start by saying I'm delighted to be here. As you said, I've lived in Brussels now for 32 years, but I'm obviously Spanish from Sevilla. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of these ladies and with these men as well, because we need to be together in this conversation. I would say business have to do a lot, and we need to do it faster, because we're not getting enough women in tech. And I always say that this is not just the right thing to do. I mean, think about it. Women are the biggest users of technology. but we're only contributing 20%, 25% of building this technology. So for us in Cisco, and I think all businesses, it's a business imperative because we know we're going to be better. We know we're going to do better products if we bring a diverse workforce, and that's women, but that's also the whole spectrum of diversity. So let me just very quickly share what we are doing. So number one, I think it's very important to set the tone from the top. So if we look at our CEO and the leadership team of Cisco, we're one of the most diverse leadership teams in the Silicon Valley with 42% women and 50% diverse. Now, that does not mean that we are doing well, right? So we still don't have enough women in middle leadership positions, and we definitely don't have enough women. I think we have like 27% of women. But we are committed to get better, so we're implementing many different programs. We talk a little bit about building the pipeline. We don't have enough girls that choose STEM careers, just like 1 in 4, I think, in Spain. What do we need to do? We need to talk about tech in more attractive ways. I think girls really like to understand the impact of technology. So to your point about making things understandable, talking about sustainability, why you make a more livable planet through the use of technology. So we're putting a lot of effort there. The second area is about hiring, retaining, promoting. So how do we hire more women? I have to say, and I'm not an engineer, I work with engineers, I'm not an engineer. Every time I put out a job, guess what? I get 70% of men applications. Why is that? I'm just like, why is that? So we're doing a lot of effort on how do we post a job? How do we talk about what you can do coming to work for Cisco? So we put a lot of effort about, inclusion, about how any perspective you bring, whether you have tattoos, whatever you are, you're going to be heard, you're going to be valued. So that's just the second thing. And then, lastly, I think we really need to celebrate women as well. And we need to show success. And all of us, I think, are in here together. So to me, the partnerships, speaking up, coming together as industry, partnering with government as well is really important because we're not making enough progress. We're not. I'm talking about this for 20 years. And every time I look at the statistics, we've just slightly improved. And sometimes we've even gone backwards. So thank you again. It's great to have this conversation.
Thank you. And the next one, do you think it's important to be part of a community as a woman?
Well, I think, to me, connecting, networking is absolutely key. And, talking about the tips that you share, I would just stress how important it is to build your network internally and externally. And so these communities in Cisco, we have around 29 communities for different perspectives, from Latinos, communities around veterans, Black professionals. Women is the largest community with 9,000 Cisco women. But, I'm always very focused. This is not just about women talking to women, right? We really need to have men in the conversation, supporting, sponsoring. And, these communities, what they do is that they keep us on track, right? They work in partnership with a people's team to make sure that we really move faster on all of these initiatives.
Thank you, Pastora. It's your time, Doris.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for all the messages that our colleagues have shared with us, and thank you for the opportunity.
Can I introduce you?
Yes, of course.
Let's go. Director of Innovation and Cloud Adoption at Microsoft Spain, and member of its steering committee. She has 35 years of experience in the IT industry, the last 12 dedicated to digital transformation of organizations and implementation of cloud solutions. Cloud is a fast-moving environment. How do you keep your skills up to date?
Okay. Yes. In this tech industry, obviously, to be updated is very important. It's key, and even more with the fast evolution of the technology, because the technology is growing exponentially. And I started my engineering classes 40 years ago. It's a long time. And I remember my first programming classes with, using punch cards. I am sure nobody here used punch cards. And we need to code the... Yes? Super, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I remember those classes, and I needed to code a program with, and obviously the line of code and data is stored in this big amount of cards, and we needed to line up in a queue, waiting my turn at front, you too, at front on the main computer room, and they were in charge to run the program, and then we needed to wait some hours in order to have the answers, if your program was successful or not. If not, wow, it was so difficult, it's so painful, because we needed to debug the program and then repeat this process again. O sea, it's so painful, and since that time and all these years, I have seen the birth of personal computers and also the internet, the dot-coms, and also the mobile phones, the mobile apps. And it's incredible, the amount of innovation and new technologies that have born in the last 10 years and much more in the last 5. All the things or the options that you have in the future now, o sea, the rings of the innovation, the acceleration that you will face right now is even faster. For that reason, it's very important that you love this profession, this career, and also be perpetual learners. So you need to keep up to date. And how do I do it? It was the question, is keeping reading, researching, and studying continuously. Set aside time in your agenda daily in order to read about the new technologies, and also see what is the purpose and what is the value of the technology for each of the industries or each of the areas in your organizations, and also see what are the success stories of others in order to learn and replicate in your organizations or in your customers, depending in what sites you are working. And also it's very valuable somebody mentioned about the networking. The networking is fundamental. Also, participate in communities, in groups that you can learn from the experts by technology and by industry. Follow the leaders, follow the influencers, be part of LinkedIn, be very active. And also it's very important to subscribe to publications, for example, from McKinsey, from Deloitte, from Harvard Business Review that somebody mentioned already, and also from the different companies, from Microsoft, and also participate in conferences. And this is very important for me, because as consultant or probably a specialist, you are forced to keep up to date, because your knowledge and your experience is what you sell and also what you apply every day. But when you are a manager, you need to propose yourself in order to keep up to date, and because the day-to-day keeps you away from this. And for that reason, for me, it's very important to participate in conferences, to be a speaker in technology or innovation conferences, or participate in roundtables or write articles, because those activities force you to keep researching and studying all the time. And it's not just technical skills. For our professions, it's very important, and also in all STEM professions. It's very important also the soft skills, so the creativity, the teamwork, and also the communication, verbal, written communication, executive communication, analytical skills, and also learn about other disciplines. It's very important to know, for example, consulting approaches, also project and program management. Somebody mentioned DevOps, agile methodologies is very important. important, design thinking, also how to build a business plan, how to create a business case in order just to justify new investments or new resources. It's very important to combine all these type of skills, and you will keep, and for sure, I am authority to say this because my age, but this type of skills update all combined keep your mind young and sharp, and you'll be very well prepared in order to be more effective, more productive in your organizations, and also impact more, and also you will be more confident to accept new career opportunities and take yourself in terms of skills, and you will see the impact of that. It's very important.
Thank you. I don't know if have we time for the second questions. Yeah? Okay. Can you share with us any remarkable moments in your career that have made you grow?
Wow.
Wow.
It's 35 years in 3 companies. I started in IBM, then I moved to Microsoft, then to Deloitte, and then I came back to Microsoft. And in just 3 companies, I have moved 15 roles. So I have been in at least 15 roles. And I consider 4 of them the most important for me to learn and to grow. The first one was when I moved from my first role in IBM, that was technical pre-sales engineer, and I moved to a consultant role. For me, consulting was a super school for me. I learned a lot. What is the best approach to solve situations, to solve problems, and I learned how to apply this type of methodology in order to support my customers, because I executed a lot of projects and understand very well my customer, their business, their challenges, and define an as-is situation, and then with all the possibilities, the aspirations, and the opportunities, what is the to-be situation, and then define what is the roadmap, the journey, in order to get from this point to this another point. And I recommend to be consulting as a starting point, because you change your mind and you change the approach in order to solve the different topics. And also the other moment that I enjoyed and learned a lot is when I moved from individual contributor to manager. It's a big milestone in my career, also to be a people manager and at the same time to be a business manager. And the people management is a super high responsibility. Also, you need to build your team, and you need to be a person that coach them and care them and model them and support them in all the needs that they can have, and also to provide clarity, what is expected from those persons, and let them grow. So the highest satisfaction that we have as a manager is to see your team growing and to be even higher than you. That is amazing for us. And as business manager also, because you are owner of your business and you are defining what are the offerings, what are the target customers, what is the business strategy and the business plan, and make it successful and make it happen. And the third moment is when you move from one country to another. I am Venezuelan, and I worked many years there, and then I moved to Mexico. I lived 10 years there, and I'm now in Spain. And when I moved from Microsoft Venezuela, from leading the consulting business to Mexico, leading a new area of commercial, we have so enthusiasm, so energy in order to do so many things and to learn from anyone, and it was a super good experience. Also, to try to to impact and also to learn at the same time and to win a lot of experience in order to apply for the next roles. That was amazing. And the other is when you move from one company to another, you feel as the same that moving from one country to another, that, wow, I miss my customers, I miss my colleagues and my business partners. When you move to another company, it's the same. And when I moved from Microsoft Mexico to Deloitte Mexico, Deloitte is the #1 consulting firm in the world and also in Mexico. That is the largest organization that I work for. And wow, how to start from zero, because a lot of people, a lot of partners, and wow, what I can do in order to impact in the middle of many partners that were specialized in these of the areas. And I learned a lot that the collaboration, the good intention to collaborate with others and to join forces in order to impact more is super powerful. And also is the power of yes. I say yes to everything. So to make a presentation, to do this troubleshooting of an application problem in a customer, even that represented only $5,000 for me in a big quota that I had. But with those type of activities, I want the trust of my customers, and I want many new projects, very big. And for that reason, I consider these 4 the most important for me.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you. Now I have 2 questions, because I think that we can help to the people who once joined to the tech industry. So why you choose working in technology?
I don't know. You or me?
Who wants? Doris,
I can
Cristina?
Start. Yes, I can start. Since the early ages, I love numbers. I love also drawing and painting and playing with Legos and building blocks. For that reason, I wanted to be architect. But then I heard so many times that the architects didn't have jobs. So they are working in so many things that I decided, no, I will not be an architect. I will be an engineer. Even I didn't know anything about the different flavors of engineering. I wanted to be an engineer. And I know there are many situations based on bias or stereotypes, but in my case, I am the oldest of 4 sisters. I don't have any older male cousin. And I studied elementary school and also high school in all girls' schools. I never faced a situation that somebody compared boys and girls, or probably a teacher preferring boys for STEM subjects. Never. For me, the world is more women than men. And then when I started at the university, obviously for engineering, because I had that in my mind, we were more or less at the university, we were girls and boys, but I selected electronic engineering. And you can imagine 40 years ago how many women were studying electronic engineering. I was one in the class of 35 or 40, and probably 2 or 3 in some classes. And for me, those 5 years at the university were the best of my life. Were the best. I enjoyed so much to work with or to work in projects with my male classmates. And then when I joined IBM, we were 50-50. I don't know why, but in Venezuela, that was the situation. And I have enjoyed every role. Never I face a discrimination situation, never. I have been fortunate to work for 3 companies that the diversity and inclusion is a critical pillar. and also the flexibility that we need as women in some times of our life because we have children and we have other needs, probably when I did my MBA, etc. And I think I have been fortunate, but I am super happy all these years working in this IT industry.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you. And the second one, in which areas do you see the most opportunities? Please, Cristina, Lina, Pastora.
Maybe I can just say there's one area that we see, cybersecurity. Who's doing cybersecurity?
Yes.
Is there anyone? Great. So you have a great future.
I will take the contact data.
No, but I mean, honestly, as everything gets digitized, the surface for potential cyber attacks becomes also wider. And so I think this is a huge area where we have huge skills gap, both men and women, and we're putting a lot of effort. I have my colleague Alejandra here, who's leading our Networking Academy program. We plan to train in the next 2 years 15,000 students with cybersecurity skills, and I really think that it's an area where we need more focus collectively. I mean, you can talk about data. I would say data, everything around data, and I want to stress about the soft skills and make the point that, I came 20 years ago to Cisco. Honestly, every time I had to give a presentation, it was like panic. I didn't sleep the night before. And I saw all my colleagues like super well. I mean, I don't know, in Spain, I did law. I never had an oral exam. It was all reading. I wasn't really trained to speak in public. And I can tell you, it was like really the hard way. I need to do it. I have to speak. I have to do it, do it. And so if you can do theater course, whatever it is, but in whatever job you have, being able to communicate, being able to show up, be succinct, you can be so much more impactful. Yes. So I think, work on your soft skills as much as you work on your technical skills.
Yes.
I can add also that because you're promoting cybersecurity, I need to promote data. But if you don't like to be a data engineer, which I understand, if you don't like to be a data scientist, which I don't understand that much, but okay, I do think there's a third role that we do not have enough at all, and it's very, very difficult to find them, which is the translator, which is the person that knows how to talk my data science jargon, but also the business jargon, and put them in common. Because I always explain this as a restaurant. I think of the data scientist as the cooks in the kitchen and the business as the customer that goes in the restaurant. But if you think of a restaurant, the customer never enters the kitchen to discuss with the cook what they're going to have for dinner. This is done by the maître d'. There's a maître d' dressed up as business. This is why I'm wearing this blazer, okay? That talks to the customer and then goes back to the kitchen to discuss with the cook. This is a role that we do not have enough, and unless we manage to find those people, we will never be able to embed data in business, okay? So, and it's not as harsh as data scientist or data engineer, because you get to talk to business and learn many, many things. So I do recommend yourself to get an interest on translating.
So on that topic, one thing that we did at MongoDB was we set up a security champion program. So we have 120 translators who are also interested in learning more about security, and they volunteer their time. And they are the translators, they're the bridges, as we call them, between their business unit and mine. And somewhere else that we're lacking is in governance, risk, and compliance. I also run that for MongoDB. And it sounds really boring, but it's actually really interesting. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And it's the one of the few areas in my world anywhere where we can actually go out and talk to customers about their specific needs around regulatory needs, governance needs, and compliance needs. And if your compliance, if you're out of compliance, you can be fined. Your business can be closed down. I worked for the power industry and we had a couple of nuclear plants, and the governance around those plants is phenomenal. And we knew that if we did something wrong, we could be closed down. And it's the same with banks as well. And so that's kind of an interesting route. And in terms of cybersecurity, thank you. I'm an introvert. I'm way outside my comfort zone sitting here. So if you don't like sitting in seats like this, don't become a CISO. But one of the things that cybersecurity is really good with is you can teach yourself a lot of things. I left school when I was 16, which was many years ago. But cybersecurity, I would rather employ someone who has the curiosity, just the innate curiosity, and coming to me and saying, I downloaded Shodan and I found this, facing the internet, and I hacked it. Rather than, I went to X college for X years to learn about cybersecurity, because really, apologies to anyone who spent money on a cybersecurity degree, go ask for your money back. Because it's out of date, unfortunately. Cyber is something that's happening so quickly. There's 1,000, maybe 2,000 viruses being created and discovered every day. There's no university in the world that can keep up with that. Your own brain has to try and keep up with that. So.
Yes.
Thank you. To close this roundtable, it would be fantastic if you can share a last quick advice for the next generation of leaders.
Just like that. Get into cybersecurity. There you go.
Three quick things. One of the best advices I got was, picking on what you just said, build your knowledge will make you more confident. So, and this is, again, a sector where you need to continuously build your knowledge, right? Because things are changing so fast. Understanding your superpowers. What is it that is your strength, right? Is it your empathy? Is it your communication? And, that will also make you a lot more, I think, successful. And then collaboration. You mentioned it, surrounding yourself with people that can actually challenge your job. That's really important. And then the last thing is just believe in yourself. Just don't allow anyone to tell you what you can and you cannot do. Just bet on yourself.
Yes, very good. And for me, my message is be intentional in your career, prepare yourself all the time, and based on what you said now, is the collaboration is key. Not just think in the impact in your area or to achieve your own results. Try to also to see how you can impact to others' success, and also how you can work with others for both success, the success of you together. And also there to do everything that you want to do, be curious, and also say yes to every opportunity. You need to, obviously, for every key meeting, every presentation, every interview, be prepared. Prepare yourself a lot, but do it because it's worthy.
Okay, very quick and very, very practical, because I'm going to tell you something that you can actually start doing tomorrow, which is play back your successes and also the failures with transparency, but play back successes to your boss. Because you tend to do stuff and you think it's obvious it was a success and it's great and the boss is happy. And of course, he has a strange place in his or her brain when he's recording everything you do. Well, this place does not exist. Okay? Play back to your boss, and recurrently. This quarter, we had to do 4 things. This has been a success. This has been a failure so far, but I already know how to fix this. And by the way, there's a 5th thing you didn't think about. I came up with it, and it's going to be fantastic. Next quarter, again. Play it back, because otherwise, it gets lost.
Thank you. Thank you. We stop here. So thank you, because it was really valuable. Thank you. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker has in-depth knowledge in technology with more than 22 years of experience in executive positions. Her background is in maths, specialized in science computer. During her career, she has led international payments projects in different countries. She is one of the co-founders of the PagoNext company. PagoNext is a payments fintech inside Santander with global payment platforms based on cloud. Currently, she is the Chief Architecture Officer leading the definition of the IT strategy. Give our welcome to Concepción Montiel.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let me start by thanking Women in Tech for this opportunity to be here with all of you and to give this opportunity to share with my long experience in technology. Okay, so I've been working for a long time, for 22 or 23, or who knows, because I don't like to say how old are you, how old I am. So, and the thing is that, yes, I have had the opportunity to work in Santander in a lot of international projects. My specialization is in international payments. Can you hear me? Sorry. Yeah, international payments. And now I'm very happy because I'm part of a big adventure like PagoNext is in Santander. By the way, PagoNext is a fintech inside Santander Group. Only 3 or 4 years ago, there were only four people of us, okay? And then there are more than 4,000 people. Yeah, yes, it's crazy, okay? It's crazy and very difficult to manage it, okay? So sorry about this, let me switch to Spanish because I was told that it was up to me to prepare the presentation and my speech in Spanish, and I feel more comfortable to speak in my native language, okay? Como he dicho, ahora mismo soy la CTO de PagoNext. Y me licencié en matemáticas con la especialización de ciencias de la computación. Empecé en Banco Santander, nada más terminar mi carrera, ¿vale? Y bueno, y al principio comencé durante los 10 primeros años en empresas tecnológicas como Coritel y Capgemini. La verdad es que aprendí muchísimo de estas empresas tecnológicas y he hecho diferentes proyectos internacionales, he participado en muchos proyectos internacionales muy grandes, tanto, bueno, en todos los países, yo creo, del Grupo Santander. Prácticamente, creo que no se me olvida todo, pero desde la TAM, Europa, España, evidentemente, que empecé aquí, ¿no? Muchos. Bueno, también ¿y cómo llega hasta aquí? Pues la verdad es que no lo sé. No tengo ni idea. Porque yo desde pequeña quería ser bailarina. Me gustaba mucho bailar y el ejercicio en general. Tengo que decir que sigo corriendo todos los días a las 7 de la mañana, 1 horita, antes de ir a trabajar para prepararme bien, y hago tonificación, bueno, todo, ¿no? Para estar también más activa, ¿no? Me gustaba mucho la biología, me gustaba la naturaleza, todo menos las matemáticas, he de decir. Lo que sí que sabía es que quería estudiar y quería ser una mujer independiente. Bueno, pues, ¿cómo me empezaron a gustar las matemáticas? Pues la verdad es que fue por un fracaso, por un error tremendo. Cuando empecé primero de BUP, tercero de la ESO ahora, pues tuve una profesora súper exigente en matemáticas y yo hasta entonces estudiaba y más o menos pues la sacaba, ¿no? Pero me acuerdo de aquel primer examen en cálculo de probabilidades, que por cierto se me sigue dando igual de mal, no distingo entre una permutación y una combinación con repetición, pues me acuerdo en ese examen que saqué un 3,5. Pero lo peor no era eso, es que era el resto de mis compañeras, que estábamos en un colegio de monjas, sacaron de media 9 y 10. Entonces, me sentí fatal. Tengo que decir que es que ni presté atención y me confié, ¿no? Pues a partir de ahí dije, esto lo tengo que solucionar porque me voy a ir a letras, entonces tengo que quitarme las matemáticas y voy a estudiarlas. Pues empecé a estudiar matemáticas pues con todo el afán del mundo para poder superarlas, ¿no? Y pasé 2 años horribles. Iba aprobando, pero aquello y mi profesora, me acuerdo de mi profe, gracias Mari Carmen Sacristán por esto, pues parecía que me había cogido manía, ¿no? Lo que decimos. Pero llegó la hora de elegir entre ciencias y letras y elegí ciencias. Y yo pues seguía diciendo, bueno, voy a seguir con ciencias y luego ya la carrera ya me tiraré a letras, tengo tiempo. Pues empecé a subir la nota y ya me fui a un instituto porque ahí en Las Monjas no teníamos COU y sacaba todos sobresalientes y casi matrícula de honor. Entonces, bueno, pues cuando terminé le dije a mis padres, ya sé lo que quiero hacer. Y les dije que no solamente no quería hacer letras, que claro, ellos me miraban como diciendo, con lo que ha llorado esta mujer, ¿sabes? Pues les dije que quería hacer, que no solo ni tampoco ciencias, quería hacer matemáticas. Pues me miraron como diciendo, la hemos perdido, o sea, esto no puede ser. Y me puse a hacer matemáticas. Y ahí de nuevo la gente me decía, es que te vas a dedicar a la enseñanza. No. Que con mucho respeto, adoro la enseñanza y los profesores con muchísimo respeto porque vaya paciencia. Pues no, me quería dedicar al mundo de la empresa y yo quería dedicarme al mundo de empresa y ayudar a resolver problemas, a resolver cosas de la vida cotidiana, a cuidar del cliente. Quería dedicarme a eso, no sabía cómo. Y descubrí que había una especialidad que se llamaba Ciencias de la Computación. Pues allí me fui. Dije, no sé qué es. Me acuerdo de aquel Pentium que me compraron mis padres, cabezón. ¿Vale? Y la verdad es que sin saber nada empecé con la tecnología, con la computación y empezó a gustarme mucho. Tengo que decir que en aquel entonces no había Internet. Evidentemente no había Internet, con lo cual era muchísimo más difícil encontrar información y tener círculos de amigos y de profesores, también de bibliotecas, que me acuerdo que me iba con mi carnet de la biblioteca a buscar más información, pero la programación ya era muy avanzada. Me acuerdo que estudié Pascal y empecé a estudiar C++, ya con punteros dinámicos y con una tecnología pues que tampoco que está muy en el día de ahora. Hablo solo del software, no hablo de todo el ciclo de vida del software, que eso sí que ha cambiado. Bueno, pues terminé la carrera y nada más terminar, pues allá fui, ¿no? Al mundo empresarial. Y la verdad es que tuve oportunidad tanto de entrar en una empresa tecnológica como una de consultoría. Pero yo quería programar, me divertía por programar. Y es verdad que la consultoría pagaban más. Pero allí me fui, a donde no pagaban tanto. Pero sí que es verdad que en estas empresas tecnológicas había una buena carrera. Cada 6 meses o cada año, si tú querías, podías seguir promocionando, ¿no? Y la verdad es que me ayudaron un montón. Conocí mucha gente y gente joven también en el que hacíamos piña y hacíamos unos buenos grupos, trabajábamos muchísimo en aquel entonces. Empecé como el primer cliente Banco Santander. Banco Santander de hace tantos años, Imaginaros, pues yo creo, creo que no me equivoco cuando digo que era el 7º año el 7º banco de España, ¿vale? Como está ahora, ni muchísimo menos. Me acuerdo que había una ruta, me llevaron allí a la carretera de Barcelona y aquello era como, Dios mío, ¿dónde estoy, no? Pues empecé como programadora junior, era el último mono de todos. Y allí pues, estuve en proyectos como activos financieros y pagos internacionales, que es la verdadera experiencia que tengo, ¿no? Y tuve mucha suerte porque tenía compañeros y jefes que me ayudaron muchísimo en la parte tecnológica, pero también en equipos de negocio. Equipos de negocio muy buenos. Siempre estaba muy cerca de mis equipos de operaciones, que realmente eran los que me decían qué es el producto que querían y cómo acompañar al cliente, pero tanto externo como interno. Me acuerdo de las territoriales de pagos internacionales de la 1500 y 1600 llamándome con alguna incidencia, con alguna mejora, y como es la vida, en aquel entonces con la tecnología que teníamos, lo subíamos rápidamente a producción y listo, no es como ahora. He estado en muchos proyectos después del Banco Santander de España, de estar en España, en el Banco Santander, en proyectos como CIB de banca mayorista, donde he estado integrando productos externos con Parthenon, que es el mainframe del banco, para hacer cash pooling, barrios internacionales, para hacer préstamos sindicados de Loan IQ. He estado en Inglaterra, en Alemania, en México, haciendo este tipo de proyectos. Y luego me fui a operaciones. La verdad es que lo pasé fatal, porque en 2010 empecé en operaciones y aquello se movía mucho por hojas Excel y demás, que yo, pues con las aplicaciones y con toda la tecnología que teníamos, pues no era capaz, ¿no? Pero ahí puse mi granito de arena, he de decir, y estuvimos haciendo también aplicaciones un poco para mejorar la vida de nuestros compis. Estuvimos en proyectos muy grandes, que aquí también está el jefe que yo tenía por aquel entonces, Ventura, proyectos grandes de transformación en Inglaterra, Estados Unidos o en Alemania. La verdad es que también fue muy buena experiencia, ¿no? Y bueno, pues con toda esta experiencia de tantos años, pues ¿dónde estoy ahora? Pues hace nada más que, como os contaba, 4 años o 3, ya no lo recuerdo porque yo con los años me lío muchísimo. Pero estábamos en la oficina del Global CEO con David Chaus y me acuerdo de que el consejero delegado nos dijo en aquel entonces que había una solución muy buena en Brasil, que tenía un caso de negocio buenísimo, ¿no? Que estaban ganando mucho dinero. Y nos fuimos allí a ver los sistemas. Los sistemas no eran los que realmente, que también, pero realmente el gran caso de éxito que tenían allí, el éxito de ellos tenían un equipo de negocio brutal. O sea, vendían, bueno, mis compañeros de tecnología nos subíamos un taxi y como le veían el TPV, la maquinilla, como dicen ellos, que no fuera de GetNet, ya se lo estaban vendiendo. O sea, aquello era una máquina de vender. Los sistemas, pues no lo podíamos llevar al resto del Grupo Santander. Entonces, ¿qué hicimos? Pues yo empecé liderando en Pagonés, que no era Pagonés, una plataforma global de pagos de tarjetas físicas y pagos de tarjetas a través de Internet, de e-commerce, con la con la nueva tecnología, que aquí también están mis compis de MongoDB que me ayudaron con la base de datos porque la necesitábamos con datos encriptados, ¿vale? Y en una nube pública. Pues fuimos casi pioneros. Imaginaros, yo que venía de Parthenon, me conozco muy bien el mainframe y todo lo que tenemos ahí, pues empezando a liderar esto en plataforma, en una cloud pública, nada que ver. O sea, nada que ver. Yo, como siempre, tiro para adelante y me encuentro pues, con una realidad y con un paradigma de la tecnología muy diferente. Empezando por los skills de la gente, la forma de trabajar y cómo llevar a cabo un proyecto, pero end-to-end, no solo en un producto de negocio, que también, sino en un producto, todo el end-to-end de tecnología, desde la ciberseguridad, desde Internet, con los DNS, Akamai, toda la parte de microservicios, la parte de integración, o Data Lake, base de datos como MongoDB, todo. cables, VPNs, firewalls, todo. Y bueno, pues me rodeo de gente muy buena. O sea, un equipo, vamos, son mis niños, estupendos. Tenemos equipos, eran equipos de Brasil, pues empezamos con 20 y tantas personas a montar esta enorme plataforma con una ilusión desbordante. O sea, yo aprendía, como también ha dicho mi compañera María José, aprendía todos los días de ellos, me quedaba con la boca así, o sea, diciendo, madre mía. Y también con la ayuda del grupo, pues porque es una plataforma altamente transaccional con un riesgo enorme. También necesitábamos el apoyo del Grupo Santander de ciberseguridad y de toda la gente que tenemos allí profesional. Lo bueno es tener equipos multidisciplinares. Es buenísimo, no solamente a nivel de género hombre-mujer, que también, y además marca la diferencia, se nota también mucho el carácter de la mujer en todo esto, sino también equipos pues, de diferentes países, con diferentes skills y diferentes mentalidades y culturas, ¿no? Ha sido, la verdad, es que muy enriquecedor. Definiendo procesos también con negocio, end-to-end, que no se nos perdiera nada desde lo que es una preventa, de lo que es un onboarding, un procesamiento y un servicio del cliente, ¿no? Como os digo, yo siempre he estado muy preocupada del cliente final y de nuestra gente, de nuestros usuarios, ¿no? Y ahora tenemos numerosos squads, ponemos numerosos porque yo ya no sé, no llevo ni la cuenta, ¿vale? No sé si estaremos en 80 y tantos squads ya. Yo lidero squads también desde España porque hemos hecho Task Force y aquí Estela es una de las personas que me ha ayudado con esta parte de los portales, que ha hecho muy buen trabajo también en la plataforma. Y bueno, y hace 1 año y medio pues empecé con el rol de CTO a nivel de todas las verticales en Pagonés. Hemos crecido mucho. 4.000 personas son mucha gente y tendemos a desorganizarnos y a ir en silos, ¿no? La arquitectura vela por que sea una arquitectura cross, una arquitectura robusta, una arquitectura con buena ciberseguridad, con sinergias. No podemos estar triplicando esfuerzos, es que no tiene sentido ahora, ¿no? Y más con las tecnologías que tenemos ahora, que con una sola plataforma podemos atender varios países, ¿no? Vale, pues la siguiente, dificultades. Dificultades, no os imagináis las dificultades. Son todo dificultades. Aquí tengo que decir que la verdad es que he tenido la suerte de que en mi casa la educación ha sido la misma para chicos y chicas. Estamos muy orientados a ser personas independientes, a tener nuestros estudios y no había ninguna diferencia, ¿no? Y así yo entré en el banco, pero vamos, yo no me daba, sin darme cuenta de nada. Yo iba a lo mío, tenía que aprender, ¿vale? Y ahí estaba, ¿no? Trabajando en superproyectos que la verdad que han sido todos bastante interesantes. Y lo que os diría es, primero tenemos que elegir la profesión que queremos hacer y la que disfrutemos. Tenemos que disfrutar. A mí se me han pasado los meses, las semanas, los años volando. Y es porque he disfrutado de mi trabajo. Intentamos siempre separar la vida personal y la vida profesional. Es que hay una línea muy delgada entre la línea profesional y personal. Es que nos pasamos la vida en la empresa y tenemos familia. Nuestra familia, que decía Vero antes de entrar, somos la familia que estamos aquí juntos en la empresa, ¿no? Entonces, eso te lleva te lleva a sobrellevar muchas dificultades. La segunda es, no debemos competir nunca entre nosotros, nuestros equipos. Estamos todos para apoyarnos. Somos todos de la misma empresa, que aparece a veces que estamos como poniéndonos zancadillas para que, pues no sé, pues algún tema de algún ego personal o algo así que hay por ahí, ¿no? Pues creo que estamos equivocados. Juntos y en equipo triunfamos mucho más, pero los objetivos tienen que ser comunes. Porque si los objetivos no son comunes, no se puede hacer nada. Fijaros que en época de pandemia hemos conseguido implantar la plataforma de pagos en la TAM y la gente estaba muy motivada y no hay que estar detrás de la gente para trabajar. La gente trabaja ya sola. Cuando los proyectos pues, son emocionantes, hay un buen entorno de trabajo, hay ese commitment, ¿no? Y ese compromiso de la gente sale solo. Y me acuerdo que empezamos en marzo con la plataforma, viendo con Microsoft si de verdad lo que estábamos pensando era viable, con ECI, con Global CTO, equipos multidisciplinares revisando todo. Cuando nos dijeron go, hicimos el primer piloto en julio de 2019. Esto fue en marzo del 2019. En julio hicimos la primera transacción TPV con la nube en México. Y en plena pandemia, en marzo del 2020, implantamos en México. Fue nuestra primera implantación. Como podéis imaginar, todos por Teams, intentando además pues, brindar con lo que teníamos. Fue la verdad que muy emocionante. Equipos de Brasil, equipos de México, equipos de España, todos brindando por nuestro gran triunfo, ¿no? Y las dificultades, claro que las hay. Y a medida que fui avanzando en mi carrera profesional, pues me di cuenta de que este era un mundo pues, muy de hombres, ¿no? Sí que hay bastantes mujeres y en capas más bajas e intermedias, ¿no? Pero a medida que empiezas a promocionar, las mujeres brillan por su ausencia. Y pueden ser por varios motivos. Es un mundo de hombres en el que pues, a ellos también les gusta muchas veces colaborar con hombres y prefieren trabajar con ellos mejor que con nosotras, ¿no? Yo creo que eso es uno de los motivos. Yo considero que el hombre está más orientado a ir promocionando, ¿no? Y en mi caso, mi carrera ha sido muy lenta. Muy lenta. Primero porque empecé abajo del todo, ¿no? Y segundo porque yo creo que las mujeres en general somos más exigentes para optar a puestos más altos. Y nos exigimos mucho. Y yo creo que los hombres, perdón, no, que también puede ser algo bueno, ¿no? Pues no es así, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, también a veces nos ponemos esas barreras, como yo con las matemáticas cuando era más peque, ¿no? Que pensaba que ni de coña lo iba a sacar porque tienes miedos y prejuicios a ciertas cosas. Pero sí que es duro para las mujeres, porque también tenemos que tener una vida, conciliar la vida, ¿no? Conciliar la vida familiar y profesional. Y aquí el rol del hombre nos tiene que ayudar, pero no solamente en la empresa, sino también en casa, porque si no nos podemos salir. Y yo me acuerdo que nunca he pedido jornada reducida porque pensaba que me iban a apartar y por eso os digo que poco a poco sí que empecé a sentir pues, que las mujeres pues, no estábamos en el mismo nivel que los hombres. Me tomaba un poco más en serio la hora de salida, pero ya a veces he estado con un ordenador a las 3 de la mañana con una incidencia de transferencias y con mi hijo dándole el biberón al lado, ¿no? Bueno, pues sí que lo he hecho y me ha costado muchísimo conciliar la vida personal. Ahí están mis dos niños en la última carrera que hicimos, que bueno, la verdad es que están siguiendo un poco, espero, mis pasos también en el plan deportivo, ¿no? Y bueno, creo que hemos preparado un vídeo de nuestras chicas en Pagonés, que hay bastantes y quiero dejaros con el vídeo para que también tengáis el feedback de ellas. Si funciona.
Hola, soy Noria y trabajo en Pagonex Solution como Technical Lead y Delivery Manager.
Soy Cinta, soy jefe de productos de pagos domésticos en Pagonex y dentro de ello en Payments Hub para la SEPA SFP.
Soy Susana Naranjo y trabajo en Pagonex Trade. Soy la responsable de tecnología del proyecto de la EMI, que es la entidad de dinero electrónico.
En mi día a día trabajo con el equipo de negocio y el equipo técnico para conseguir los objetivos que son requisitos a nivel de grupo. Para ello trabajo con un equipo aproximadamente de 15 personas en 3 proyectos distintos y coordino también otras tareas con otras áreas de Pagonex o equipos propios técnicos del área de Pagonex Solution.
Trabajo coordinando diferentes squads tecnológicos para asegurar que la integración entre las diferentes piezas y funcionalidades que nos ha definido el equipo de negocio funcionen adecuadamente y se puedan integrar.
Miramos por el end-to-end del producto que poseemos en Payments Hub, desde su iniciación hasta la salida del esquema y viceversa cuando recibimos del esquema.
Pienso que el papel de las mujeres en la tecnología es fundamental, porque si casi el 50% de la población somos mujeres, no tiene ningún sentido que en los equipos de tecnología no haya bastantes mujeres, porque al final no hacemos tecnología para una compañía, para nosotros mismos, tecnología por tecnología. Hacemos tecnología para las personas, para mejorar el mundo, para el resto de la población.
Creo que siempre ha sido como más un mundo de hombres y quizá en ese sentido es un poco más complicado hacerse hueco en el sector.
Afortunadamente va habiendo cada vez más mujeres, si bien el crecimiento es muchísimo más lento de lo que nos gustaría, y eso lo baso en mi experiencia ya de unos cuantos años, y creo que las mujeres necesitamos más referentes, más apoyo y más empowerment para llegar a donde queremos llegar.
Puede que desde las universidades, bueno, antes incluso en los colegios, institutos, se pueda fomentar.
Aportan mucho a los equipos humanidad, practicidad y que, bueno, pues que la diversidad al final es mucho mejor cuando hay más mujeres en los equipos de tecnología.
Bueno, para concluir, solamente daros números, ¿vale?, de la presencia de las mujeres en Pagonex. Somos un 40%, ¿vale? En equipos tecnológicos solo un 25%. Pero seguimos creciendo también en equipos de mujeres. Esta mañana el CISO Freddy desde Inglaterra me decía que estaba contratando muchas mujeres en ciberseguridad, superwoman en ciberseguridad. Y no obstante, nuestro compromiso, y a mí me gustaría que fuéramos más, es el del 30% estar a puestos de liderazgo, ¿vale? Creo que se nos tiene que dar esa oportunidad y, por supuesto, nosotras creérnoslo y montar y ser más piña, ¿no? Montar más comunidades entre nosotras, ayudándonos mucho más, ¿vale? Y bueno, pues chicas, el futuro está aquí y hay que ir a por ello, ¿no? Muchas gracias.
Well, we have reached the end of our presentations today. We hope you like it. Now, I will stick with a couple of main ideas. Diversity contributes. Women help to improve technical innovation. The visibility of female role models is really important. Believe in yourself, don't be afraid, because you are the future. Let's keep working for diversity and inclusive tech industry. Thank you. Muchas gracias a todos. Ahora vamos a pasar a preguntas y respuestas y podéis hacerlas tanto en español como en inglés, así que sin problema. Así que si os animáis y las speakers salen aquí a contestar, sería estupendo. Ah, sí, los micros.
No, pasamos el micro de mano y así os ¿Vamos para allá? Sí. Sí. Tenemos algunas preguntas por internet.
Sí.
Que nos han hecho por internet, mientras que...
O sea, esto tenía trampa. Venid.
Now we are going to do the Q&A. It's going to be half Spanish, half English. If you can go here. Yeah.
We have the question in English, so you are lucky. The first question, how to get the first job in tech if you don't have any IT degree, as for example, computer sciences, etc.?
What is the question? Sorry.
Well, get a consulting job. It's the easiest way into anything afterwards.
It's like being a Peter Pan. You get into consulting and then you can reinvent yourself. Because it's tough to get a tech job if you've studied Hebrew literature. But it's not so tough to get a consulting job in that case. So that would be what I would advise.
Any ideas or more? Or?
Well, I mean, we do have programs Skills to Jobs, where we have examples of people that didn't have IT skills that went through the program, including cybersecurity, and they are now cybersecurity analysts. So I would encourage, if you want to, and these are not programs that are 6 years of studying. So I think there are many, many different opportunities. And then indeed, I mean, you can get into a tech company, and then there is a lot of mobility. We actually encourage our teams to move to different areas.
Thank you.
One more thing, if you look online, you'll see there's a lot of certified ethical hackers. Make sure the word ethical is in the job description. There's plenty of sites out there that are not ethical, but there's plenty of free stuff out there. You don't have to spend any money on learning how to be a hacker. Just make sure you get permission before you hack, please. And don't hack MongoDB or Banco Santander or Microsoft or Cisco.
I have seen many Lions of in tech recently. What do you think about the future in this sector?
Well, I can answer with Concha together. Santander is hiring, but what you're seeing in terms of layoffs, etc., I don't think it is the long run, what we are seeing here, or the average. In the long run, we will still grow as we are growing in Santander, and but again, pragmatists will win. What's not selling anymore is bullshit. That I must insist on. But yeah, long run, this is an industry that is growing because things are increasingly and more increasingly technological. You would agree?
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then if you think about the world still needs to be connected. I mean, we saw that with the pandemic, right? There were a lot of schools, a lot of hospitals, a lot of businesses, small SMEs that were not yet connected. So I think if anything is going to be accelerated, and then you need to have professionals to build that connectivity globally.
Sure. I think that we have a question there.
Yes. I'm sorry to go back to the first question, but it was aligned to the first one. I was wondering, like, how did you discover that you had a preference for a STEM career? For example, I've been in the IT industry myself for 7 years in another region. I'm from Latin America, and it's been hard because there's a lot of stigmas, and I wonder how are you doing here in Spain and also in Europe in general? And how have you been dealing with that since the beginning? Did you have clear that you wanted to study a STEM career since you first started? And then how you develop your whole career in tech?
I'll be very honest. I chose not just STEM, I chose math because I'm a bit lazy, and that was the only one I didn't have to study for. Because history, physics, I was very bad at it. I mean, everybody, problems in the exam, and everybody knew the ball was going down at that acceleration. I didn't even know to what side it was going. But math, for some reason, it was very transparent. So I chose that one because of laziness. But then, to be honest, I've never felt any sort of discrimination because of being STEM. I felt it on occasion because of a woman. But STEM had nothing to do with it. And it gives you a bit of a power, if I'm being honest, the possibility to uncover the pattern that nobody has seen it yet. If you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes, this is your path. I mean, knowing what is yet to be discovered, the unknown. This is beautiful and fantastic. I've never felt any sort of discrimination, quite the opposite. If I'm being honest, these days, It's easier to look interesting if you studied STEM, because it's now the fashion nowadays. Business was 10 years ago, now it seems to be STEM. So I wouldn't be worried. I don't know.
No, yes. I think that the first one is that you need to enjoy with your career and whatever you want in the life, without paying attention different things around you. So I think you need to set your objectives and enjoy with, and to be perseverance with your ideas. I think this is the thing.
Can I just say something? I think you also need to speak up. So it's incredible that we are still facing bias. And in order to tackle this bias, we need to speak up. And sometimes with my male colleagues, when I say, did you realize what you just do? They were not aware, so I think, again, to make this inclusive environment where everyone feels they are valued, they can be promoted, they can have opportunities, you need to speak up. And I think I've been 20 years in Cisco, I think right now we are trying to create that culture that if you speak up, you are not going to get any retaliation, or it's not going to be impacting your business, but we actually want to foster that because we want to create a better culture. And we'll never do that. If you are experiencing a bias, and what's your response? You leave the company. That's not where we want to be.
We have another question there.
Thank you very much for sharing very inspirational insights. I have a question. At the leadership level, especially in a tech organization, what values do you think women bring to the table? What are the different behavior traits you observe when there are more women at that table rather than just men? Thank you.
That's a hairy one.
I normally don't like to say women have these values and men, right? I think we all need to bring values to the table. We need to have empathy. We need to have authenticity, be yourself. But I mean, my observation is that we have a little bit more kind of the listening and the empathy, and that's an advantage in today's world, because that's what we need. The new leadership today is completely different, right, to 20 years ago. It's not about command and control, leading by fear. You need to kind of bring your people. You have to have people that want to follow you. So all of these, empathy, communication skills, authenticity, I think that plays to our strength.
My teams are 50-50, so I have a good sample. And you can find great people or not so great people in both genders, right? But if I had to say something, I feel that in those teams in which women have a stronger presence, they tend to be more practical. Solutions are more practical. And my women, at least, are all very bold. So this thing about listening, yeah, we listen just the fair amount. But practical, we are super practical, and everything we produce, it's implementable. And I think this is a trait of ladies, I must say.
Yeah, yes, totally agree with you. The only thing is more, I think I would like to add is we are very hardworking people, yeah. And I think we are very honest. Yeah.
One thing.
Okay. Sorry.
You just mentioned something really important. It's really weird, but no woman has ever lied to my face, but men have. Apologies to the men in the room. But I have had men, and technical men and non-technical men, just lie to my face. And I know they're doing it, and I call them out on it, and then they're surprised, and it's like, really? So yeah, I think women are just more honest, even with men, but also with other women. You just know when someone's telling a bit of a porky pie, so yeah.
Thank you. We have another question.
Sí, perdonad que yo os voy a preguntar en español, que me estoy más cómoda. Todas venís bueno, primero, gracias por la charla, me ha encantado y estoy súper emocionada, la verdad. todas venís de carreras tecnológicas, STEM, de matemáticas y demás. Y bueno, estamos en Ironhack, que es un bootcamp que también está especializado en gente que viene de un background completamente diferente, el cual es mi caso, por ejemplo. Yo vengo de Bellas Artes y me he metido a programar. Es una cosa que me está gustando mucho, cómo las empresas ven este cambio de carrera en hombres y mujeres, pero sobre todo en mujeres y en mujeres de una cierta edad, que yo ya tengo 40, que han decidido... Gracias. Gracias. Pero bueno, que quiero decir que hay veces que yo tomar esta decisión fue a raíz de un embarazo, decidí cambiar de vida, poder conciliar. Esto la verdad que me gustaba. Lo que más me gustaba era aprender. También me ha encantado que decías eso, ¿no? Que decíais en general eso, que aprender, que te guste aprender. Pero claro, hay veces también que me da un poco como vértigo, porque digo, ay, madre mía, con la edad de un hijo, esto es completamente tecnológico. Entonces, no sé cómo las empresas pueden tomar esto.
Ana te puede contestar divino.
Contesto también en español, and apologize for the ones that are still connected in English. But, primero, enhorabuena por tu decisión, porque aquí lo has oído muchas veces, es sigue tu pasión, sigue tus sueños y da igual si tienes 40 o los que tengan, nos queda afortunadamente si todavía mucha vida por delante y te podrás reinventar más veces. Con lo cual esa es la primera. Y la segunda es, las empresas hemos tenido que cambiar también y precisamente al ritmo de cambio que vamos y considerando que tenemos mucha más demanda de perfiles que oferta real, estamos cada vez más colaborando con todo este tipo de escuelas para tratar de tomar valor de quienes, viniendo de donde quiera, y conecta también con tu pregunta, ¿no? Habéis decidido especializaros en un tipo de conocimiento. Entonces, eso ya demuestra una serie de skills que, primero, la diversidad de tu background va a sumar en algún punto de tus siguientes pasos de carrera. Lo segundo, aquello en lo que te estás especializando en ese momento, porque para eso estas grandes escuelas eligen muy bien sus programas, es algo que nosotros vamos a necesitar, ese conocimiento que a lo mejor es muy inmediato y hay que comprarlo fuera mientras desarrollamos dentro. Y después ya te ocuparás tú de seguir formándote permanentemente. Así que olvida, no vamos a estar ya nunca más con esta necesidad que tenemos de contar con más fuerzas y más pasiones, pensando en géneros, backgrounds, edades y demás. Lo que queremos es sumar voluntades a las transformaciones en las que estamos inmersos. Ese sería mi mensaje.
Mira, y como programadora tienes una ventaja, te diré. Para un trabajo que empiezas programando no te van a preguntar mucho qué has estudiado. O sea, lo importante es, o lo que yo pregunto al menos, ¿cuántos años de experiencia tienes programando en ese lenguaje? ¿Por qué digo que es una ventaja? Porque los lenguajes cambian cada 10 minutos. No. Luego lo pillas, luego es lo mismo, pero que no va a competir nadie. No, yo tengo 20 años de experiencia en Python. Mentira, eso no existe. Entonces no te preocupes, lo importante, estás aprendiendo, coge el primer trabajo y luego es cuántos años de experiencia tienes, como si estudiaste, y mira que no es tan raro. A mí me encanta pintar y en cuanto me jubile me voy a dedicar a ello, lo que pasa es que soy bastante mala. Pero enhorabuena.
Thank you. Any question more? Oh.
Español, inglés. Regarding learnings, woman in tech, if you can go to the past and pick something that you change, go to the past and pick something that you say, okay, this I will do it in another way or whatever. What will it be? Difficult question. Sorry about that.
Maybe I wouldn't. I don't.
Oh, come on. I can't speak Spanish. It's funny, I asked this question of Vint Cerf. Do you know who Vint Cerf is? He's known as the godfather of the internet. He basically helped design the internet. And I was at a dinner with him some weeks ago, and I'm deaf in one ear, and he is almost deaf in both ears. So we were talking about hearing aids, because that's what technical people do when we get together. And I said to him, what would you do differently? And he said he would have built more security into the internet. And if I could go back in time, just that short period of 25 years ago when I first saw the internet grow, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I wish we'd had no anonymity and security. I think with those two things, we wouldn't have so much hatred out there. And I'm not telling you anything personal about what I would change.
Yo encontraba algo discreto que decirte. No, pero it's personal and professional. What I regret now is, on occasions, during years, I was bored in a job, but very comfortable, super comfortable. So I stick on, in spite of being tremendously bored. And I was going to work, and I was not going with a smile. I was not going with a tear either. I was just going without any sort of passion at all. And just persisting in that situation, just because you're comfortable, not the right decision. So I would have moved quicker, now that I know.
I'm going to say something, and this is a bit personal. You were talking about conciliation, right? I have 4 children, and it has not been easy at all. And I regret not having said no. You said about saying yes. I think sometimes you have to set your own boundaries. And if you do a good job, the company will accept your limits as well. So I think you need to make the boundaries that work for you. Because I think we all have, the possibility to have a good career and a family. I mean, the two I'm always, when I see a woman that has reached the top and has had to sacrifice everything, that's not the world we want. We want to have women and men, because part of the solution is to have men also raising a family together. I don't know if you want to say something.
In my case, I would do more or less the same, I think. Yeah. Yes. So maybe the experience, no? Because I'm not the same person like I was 20 years ago, no? Yeah, I was more beautiful and that other kind of things. No, but the thing is that the maturity of, maybe you need some time in order to prepare yourself or to be more comfortable in order to follow with your career, okay? So I think more or less I will do the same, okay?
Thank you. That's all. Now, it will be fantastic if we can do a photo together, or not, before to explain the speed mentoring sessions. Yeah, no? I don't know. A photo. There. Ah, everybody. Fantástico. Sí, Doris.